Hey everyone, welcome to part 27 of this Baldur's Gate 3 trophy and achievement walkthrough. We just got the loophole trophy by breaking the pact between Will and Mizora. Now we're going to leave Worm's Rock Fortress, we're going to head back to this hallway, and then straight north and across the bridge until we get to a screen transition to take us to the lower city. On the way, you'll probably get an earthquake scene and then a little blurb from the Emperor.
Without all three stones to control it, it will soon start acting on its own will.
After that, let's go ahead and go to the lower city. We're going to go to a new area. Now, normally I cut out all of these screen transitions and the loading screens for you, but I did want to take this opportunity to mention something important, is that if you have been going along and romanced Karlach in Act 1, and then you maintained a good relationship with her, gotten her heart upgrades, then when you get to the lower city here, you can actually get the Hot Date trophy or achievement by having Karlach tell you that she wants to go on a date with you. Just go through it favorably, and then you should get the trophy at the end of it. So it might be worthwhile to put Karlach into your party at this point, just so that she's around you, and then she will be able to initiate that with you. Unfortunately, I screwed that up a long time ago, so I'm not able to do it, but I have kind of been talking about it the whole way through as we go. So hopefully you were able to get it to that point, and she'll be able to talk to you now that you're entering the lower city part of Act 3 in Baldur's Gate. And then you will have the Hot Date trophy. And if you did that, then congrats, you did it better than I did. Once we reach the lower city, there are quite a few trophies that we can get in addition to the Hot Date one, and I'll show you how to do those. As we run along the path here, there's going to be a waypoint, so that's really nice for us to fast travel back to. We're going to go down this first alleyway all the way toward the north, and we're going to get to the door at the end of this alley. When we're there, we do have to lockpick it. It has a skill check of 15, so it's not too difficult for us to get through. And this isn't super necessary, but it does advance the quest line for Get Orin's Netherstone, and it allows us to get a little bit of experience at the same time. Just beware that if the guards see you in here, then they are going to come and investigate you. We'll loot the body of Gohumberry Tresp. There's going to be a note, as well as the clown's severed pelvis. So go ahead and grab those things. You'll get a little experience, and as I said, the guards will come looking for you. However, it doesn't really matter. You can just talk your way out of this one, and we're going to have either a deception or an intimidation check, whatever you want to do to get through it. We're just going to roll this one and then proceed on.
You've convinced them, for now. But transgress again, and no amount of talking will get you out of trouble.
Let's start working on the first trophy that we want to get, and that's called Punch Drunk. What we want to do is go west down this hallway. If we go all the way to the end, we're going to get to the Elfsong Tavern. Let's just run up here, and we'll get a little scene from the Emperor. I'm now playing as Shadowheart because she makes this trophy very easy. Let's go into the Elfsong Tavern, and we need to make sure that we have alcohol either in our inventory, or you can come over here and talk to the bartender.
Aye. Pull up a seat. If you can find one spare, that is.
Have you got anything to trade?
It's been slim picking since the Absolute butchered that supply convoy. But have a look.
And I'm just going to purchase one thing of alcohol, doesn't really matter what it is.
Fill your boots, mate.
Now we'll head back toward the entrance, but we're going to turn toward the left and go through the door into the kitchen. Let's run toward the stairs in the back, and the Emperor will talk to us again.
The cellars are just down the stairs. There you will find my old lodgings.
Okay, let's head down the wooden stairs, and we will immediately be put into a fight with a whole bunch of low-level rats that are very easy to kill. What we're going to do is make sure that it's Shadowheart's turn, then we're going to go into our inventory, and we're going to look inside of our camp supply sack. In there is where you'll find your alcohol, so choose to consume that as Shadowheart so that she will get the alcohol status. You'll actually see it on the screen. Now we're going to use the spell Spirit Guardians so that we will create an aura around us that will be strong enough to kill anything that gets near to us. It doesn't really matter what level you choose because each of the levels is strong enough to be able to kill the enemies very quickly. So with that aura around us, what we're going to do is run forward, and it's basically going to evaporate any enemy that gets near to us. We're just going to park her right over here, and then all the enemies are going to start running toward us. To get the Punch Drunk Trophy, you need to kill 20 enemies while under the alcohol status, or 20 enemies while you're drunk. And you should be able to get it without any effort whatsoever. So here come all the rats, they run to their death, and we get the Punch Drunk Trophy without any effort whatsoever. From here, it's just a simple matter of cleaning up all of the rats that got left over after our first turn. So we're just going to make Shadowheart come back, and she'll be able to take out these rats, and that will end the fight.
We are getting close. The wine cellar. There's a hidden door that leads further in. The mechanism to open it is somewhere among the wine racks.
Let's run forward to the middle of the room, and then we're going to go over toward the west side of the room, that's toward the left, and we're going to open up the door over here.
On the other side, you'll find a passageway, known only to those invited to do business.
There's a button on the wall by this gap. You can push the button and then jump through that gap. You'll be able to go through this new opening in the wine cellar. Make sure that all of your party members successfully jump through that gap, and then go down the stairs and use the doors.
Get Yankee. Blacketh has found us. Get rid of them, quickly.
All we have to do is run forward until we get a scene.
Lae'zel, glad you could join us. The Kithraki have spread word of that artifact that you carry. Tell me, Lae'zel of Kalir, what reward do you think the astral prism will fetch once I pluck it from your corpse and present it to Vlaakith? What honors, what riches will the Undying Queen grant me when I hand her the failed prince?
Stand down. I protect the prism on our queen's behalf.
The Undying Queen cares not for who delivers her the prism and the traitor prince within. All that matters is that it is delivered. The false heir's head will make a fine trophy for Vlaakith. As for you, I will leave nothing behind but meat and shattered bone.
Intimidation. Strike me and die, a failed warrior forgotten by your people. We get a skill check looking for an 18. We do have quite a few advantages on our side already, so it shouldn't be too hard to roll this and get it to work.
Damnable whelp. For 1,000 years I have given my life to Vlaakith. And you, Lae'zel, a child, an unascended, would snatch my glory for herself. You may keep your head. But I will yet be exalted. I will yet see my name carved in slate. Vlaakithka sivim hrath krashet.
I got over 1,300 experience just from that one dialogue option, so that's really good. They're all going to run off and out into a portal. We don't have to fight these guys. If you don't want to intimidate them out of it, you do have to fight them, and it's fairly difficult.
Blackhead is relentless. You handled it well. Let us hope she exhausts her forces soon.
Check behind the statue on the north wall for a button to press.
Now search the room. There's a statue that conceals the way through. I'll reveal it to you.
Now run inside the hidden room. If you look toward the right side, there's going to be a sword rack with the sword of the Emperor on it. Let's go ahead and interact with that.
My own sword. My first purchase as an adventurer. No use to me anymore. It's yours, if you want it.
When you pick that up, you complete the quest, visit the Emperor's old hideout. Now go over here to the Emperor's wardrobe and interact with that.
My old wardrobe. The home of all my disguises. We are what we appear to be, and so appearances matter.
Let's loot this to grab some new Cerebral Citadel armor as well as gloves. Now that we have all of this, we have successfully completed all the things we need to do in order to be eligible to romance the Emperor. So let's go ahead and take a long rest so that we can get the scene. Now that we're back at camp, you can go ahead and choose the long rest option. You can either use or not use your supplies, whatever you want, and now the scene should begin.
They say that home is where a person can be their truest selves, without guile, without pretense. You did well to see off the Githyanki who had invaded mine. And now that you have seen where I come from, you know all there is to know about me. At least, all that matters. The very first reward I gifted myself on completion of my first adventure. The garments with which I concealed and later constructed my appearance as the Emperor. We spoke of my relationship with Duke Berlin Stillmane, a story I have told no one else. I have no more secrets from you. No need to resort to subterfuge. We are true allies now, working towards a common goal.
You really don't sound like a mind flayer.
I have learned to adapt my methods to your needs. The only way we were ever going to get close enough to the brain to destroy it was by working together. But few would trust a mind flayer. So I did what I had to convince you. I studied you. Your motivations, your actions, your desires. I deduced the best way to align your goals with my own.
And what did you learn?
That you are complex and full of contradictions. It was no easy task, but I had to persist. I needed your absolute dedication to the cause. I anticipated the challenge, and I anticipated your resistance. What I didn't anticipate was how reasonable you would be. You don't like to be coddled, cajoled, but you responded well to logic, to rational arguments, to cold, hard facts. You saw straight to the core of what really mattered.
I could have done with a little more coddling.
I didn't get that impression, and my calculations are never wrong. Sometimes, I felt almost like we were dancing our way towards something deeper.
True.
You know, this might be our last chance to explore the possibility of a deeper relationship. Is that something you want?
The back of your mind warms with a rush of feeling. The Emperor's feeling. Heat, care, arousal.
Lean in towards it.
You feel its breath merging into yours. Cold, smelling faintly of vanilla and garlic. Its breathing quickens as you pull in close to its face. Its excitement palpable. You pause a moment as a thought occurs to you. Where is a mind flayer's mouth? A memory stirs. Diagrams in a book you read long ago. A mind flayer's mouth is underneath the tentacles.
Would you mind parting those tentacles?
I can make this easier for you if you like. My other form might be more familiar for you to navigate.
Please do. And with that, we get the Mind Blown Trophy for successfully romancing the Emperor.
everything you ever dreamt of and more. The single greatest experience of your life.
Sorry. You didn't leave me much energy to spare to maintain appearances.
It seems the tadpole allowed you to share more than you would have liked with your companions.
I said I'd protect you from the Absolute, not each other. And I was distracted. Don't worry. I'll make sure they don't remember a thing. Come. It's time to get dressed. We have work to do.
To business, then. As the Emperor said, he's going to wipe everyone's memory clean, so this will not break your romance with Karlach if you're working on that right now.
The Elder Brain's hive mind has grown to monstrous proportions. And through the Crown's magic, it has complete control over each and every member. It was intelligent before, but now, with its hive mind established across the city, it is well on its way to becoming indestructible. We must stop it while we still can, before we too become its slaves.
Now that we're back at camp, we can go have a chat with Mizora. If you want to go find her, you can go over toward the left side here. We're running toward the south. We're going to go down the stairs, and she's going to be standing right next to Will at the bottom of the stairs.
Little Will's all grown up. I can't wait to see what trouble he gets into.
Will's not a child. You need to start treating him with respect.
I beg your forgiveness for such undue impertinence. From now on, I promise him the same measure of respect he's shown his father. Oh, I almost forgot. Will sold his father's life for his freedom. My mistake.
If you're going to be staying, I need something in return.
Why? I'm supplying Will with every scrap of his infernal power. I've paid my dues many times over. I tell you what, when the time comes to squish that big baddie of a brain, I'll lend you a hand.
Okay, you can talk to her more if you want to, otherwise just choose to leave. We're not quite done with all of our long rest stuff, so all you want to do is make sure that you leave the camp and then come right back doing another long rest. Now that we're back at camp, we're going to choose to do our long rest again, and this time we don't need to use any of our supplies, so we'll skip that and get a scene.
You sleep, but the wicked don't. Someone is here to disturb your rest.
Get the hells away from me!
Peace, brother. We're here to take you home.
The Master needs all 7 of us for the ceremony. Come with us and be reborn. We'll live again.
What does Cazador want with him?
The right. The Master needs him. He must attend.
Oh, I'm well aware of what the Master needs. But don't we deserve better?
Better? What do you mean, better?
After all these centuries of torment, I know what you all want. More than power. More than to walk in the sun. You want to see him dead. The right of profane ascension will be mine. And he won't see a scrap of its glory. I am going to complete the ritual as the Ascendant, and then I am going to kill him! This is your chance. Stand with me. Name me your new master. We will get our revenge. And you will all live again.
His liar's smile spells danger. He knows full well that his kin will die in the ritual, but if any of the bearers of the scar die before the ritual begins, he will lose his chance to perform the rite himself. He needs them to run willingly to their deaths, thinking they stand a chance against their master.
Deception. He's free of Cazador's command. You should follow him. He will save you. Here's a skill check looking for a 15. We've got more than that in bonuses alone, so let's roll that and keep going.
He is different. Stronger. Fire in his eyes. Maybe he could take Cazador's place. Maybe he could free us.
Perhaps we can get back at Cazador and finish the ritual. The seven can unite and... The bonds hold. He owns us. We have no choice. We must obey. Get out of here, Astarion, before...
We're thrown into a fight with 4 of the vampire spawn. It's not a very difficult battle. They just like to run up and bite you and attack you with normal weapons and things. Don't worry too much about this one. You can really go all out in this fight because you get a free long rest after it. So use as many powerful abilities as you want to because you're going to get them all back. So I just skipped forward to the end of the fight and then we'll continue on from here.
What a mess. Well, at least you've met my family now.
Had we killed them, Cazador wouldn't be able to complete the rite.
He wouldn't throw away centuries of planning on a scrap like this. They were pulled back just in time. He will be furious. And he'll be even more furious when I get to that crypt and stop him. For what it's worth, thank you. No matter what happens down there, you helped me stand up against him.
Okay, now that we're back at camp, we're going to choose to take our free long rest. So once you do that, then the nighttime will pass. You'll be back in camp during the day. And from here, what we want to do is to get a couple new trophies. First off, we're going to get the Outsourcing Trophy, and for that, what we're going to do is just run around the corner here. We're going to drop Astarion from our team for right now, so that we have 1 extra space on our team. So once he's off the team, then we're going to go over here to Withers, and we're going to talk to him.
Fate spins along as it should.
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
I would like to talk about hirelings.
Very well.
Let's recruit a hireling for 100 gold.
Choose.
Now we get the option to choose whichever hireling we want. I strongly recommend choosing Brenna Brightsong. She's a level 1 bard right now, and she will help us to get another trophy in just a second. So let's choose to venture forth, and that will give us the Outsourcing Trophy because we recruited a hireling. Now talk to her.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt.
It's pretty obvious that Withers is controlling these guys. All the hirelings are dead people who he brought back to life, and he's essentially a puppeteer for them. Well, now we're going to level up Brenna Brightsong so that we can get her a lot of good bard skills that will help us do some performances. We do have a lot of levels, and I'm not going to walk through every one of them. I'm just going to highlight the main things that you want to get along the way, especially in terms of feats. It doesn't really matter what spells or anything that you learn, so we're just going to jump ahead now to level 4, where we learn the first feat, and we're going to take Performer. That gives us musical instrument proficiency and increases our charisma. So that's all very good for us. So now that that's done, we're going to skip ahead over toward level 8, where we get yet another feat. So we're going to take Actor this time. Our charisma increases by 1, and our proficiency bonus is also doubled for deception and performance checks. So now with additional performance mastery, we should be able to pass any performance check that we have coming toward us. So now we're going to be playing as Brenna. We're going to choose to leave the camp, and then we want to fast travel over to the Basilisk Gate. That's the area just inside of the lower city. And now what we're going to do is look for crowds. There should be lots of crowds all over the place. And when you get close to one, then choose the perform action, and then any of the songs that you have available to you. Doesn't really matter which one. The crowd is going to gather around you, and then there's going to be a performance check that comes up. If you successfully pass that performance, then the crowd will start to throw coins at you when you are done playing. And what you need to do is collect 100 coins that are thrown at you. They get thrown out in ones, so you can keep track of it pretty easily if you just count how many of the coins are on the ground, but you do not have to pick them up in order to receive the trophy. You just have to have them throw the coins toward you. So you don't have to wait for very long. As soon as that performance skill check comes up and you pass it, you can stop playing. But you do want to make sure that the crowd gathers around. If there's people walking, you want them to stop, because then they have the opportunity to throw the coins as well. And all you have to do is keep running around to the different places that you see crowds and play for them. And we'll wait until that skill check pops up. And when it's done and all the people around here have stopped walking, we know that they're paying attention to us. They are eligible to now throw some coins at us, and that's going to allow them to give us some money, and then we can continue on from here. So we got a good number of them around this area. We're going to just keep going around and find different crowds. One of the best places is right outside and inside of the Elfsong Tavern. So we've already been here when we were getting the Punch Drunk Trophy, so you should know the way. But we're going to just play for the crowd outside and then go inside to get a whole lot of coins. So here's the group outside. We're getting a good number of coins from this group. As you can see, people like to walk along the path here. So just stop for a minute, let them all gather up, and then throw their coins. You can't get the same people more than once, so you do have to go around to different crowds, and you're able to get them like that. You might be able to do it after taking a long rest or something, but you can't just spam the same group over and over again and expect to get money from them. So now we're inside the Elfsong Tavern. Let's do it again. You can see all the people come up, and we're going to get a lot of coins from this one. There's still a lot of people walking around here, so we're going to just give them a chance to stop walking, and then we'll continue on. There's a few more people walking up now, and when they get close and stop, then we can finish up and collect all the coins. So after the thunderous applause, they will start to throw their coins at us. So we'll get probably about 12 coins just from this one right here. So that's about 12% complete for this trophy. Remember, you got to get 100 of them. So I just fast forwarded toward the end, and we're going to run over to this crowd here and play for them, and that will be the 100th coin that I get, and that will get me the Busker Trophy. And as you can see, when they throw the coins out, before I even pick them up, I got that Busker Trophy. So just more evidence that you do not have to pick them up off the ground to get the trophy. This, all in all, took probably 10 to 15 minutes of running around. It wasn't too bad, just a little bit time-consuming. As you're running around, you may get stopped by a group of guards in here, so I just want to show you what that looks like.
You, the goddamn disease of the gate. Lady Mazora told me everything. How you and the Blade of Frontiers slaughtered his own father. How he craves ultimate power. How he means to make the city bow to him and him alone. First I finish you, then I finish the Duke's traitorous son.
It's ultimately better to let them live and to talk them out of it, but if you want some extra experience, you can go ahead and just attack them and see who's left standing.
You killed the best of Baldur's Gate. May the hells make you suffer.
Now that I think about it, you might be able just to choose to attack with non-lethal attacks and just knock them out instead of outright killing them. It's not something that I did. These people don't really matter for any trophies, so it doesn't really matter if you kill them or let them live. Will be a little unhappy that you killed them. It's fine. Also, Mizora will kind of taunt you about the whole thing because she's the one who lied to them and got them to attack you and everything. But now we're just going to kind of move on from here after the fight. And what you want to do is go over to Cordella Eltan. She has some items for us, as well as a book called The Legend of Ansur. You want to read this book because it talks about how to find a dragon beneath Baldur's Gate. And we do need to slay that dragon for one of the trophies. So if you let her live, she'll give you the book and you can read it that way. It doesn't really matter though. You can either pick it up from her corpse and read it, or you can just get it from her by talking. So the choice is really yours there. We're fast traveling back to Rivington so that we can talk to a couple tieflings around here. I mentioned going to the refugee camp in an earlier part, and now I just want to go around and to show you exactly what that looks like, because we do need to get the trophy Leave No One Behind by making sure that all the tieflings stay alive. So we're running over here toward the refugee camp. We're right by the spot where the stuffed bears were filled with smoke powder. It's the same building, it's just to the right there. And we're going to now run toward the back, and you'll see a couple tieflings over here. This is Danis and Vex, so we can talk to them.
You're all right. My gods, you're all right.
Come here, darling.
Smile. They look so happy.
I was so scared I'd lost you.
Me too. But we're here now. Safe.
I wouldn't get too comfortable. It won't be safe here forever.
Maybe not. But we have each other now. We have this moment now. Thanks to you.
So after all of our work going all the way back to Act 1, the tieflings are safe in the refugee camp. Now we're going to fast travel back to the Basilisk Gate because we have to find Mol, who was abducted during Act 2 when the Last Light Inn was assaulted by the winged horrors. All you want to do is run around to the same alleyway that we started at and go down into the manhole. That will lead you down into the sewers, and we can use the lower city sewers to get to the spot where Mol is hiding out. Come over to the west wall and you'll see that you can break through the wall. It is sturdy, so you might not be able to punch your way through it, but if need be, you can switch over to a magical character if they know something like Eldritch Blast. It's a really good cantrip that doesn't use up any of your spell slots, and it is powerful enough to break through. It might take a couple times of hitting it, but you should be able to blast your way through the wall and continue on without using any of your spell slots. Now we're going to continue on through the newly opened up wall. You'll run down this pathway and through the arch and then turn toward the left. Continue up the stairs until you get to the top where you're going to find a door. You can either choose to pick the door's lock or you can just blast it open again. It doesn't really matter which you choose. So when we get here, everyone got enough experience to level up. I'm not sure why we got so much just for coming into this area, but we're going to now choose to lockpick this door. It's pretty easy if you have Astarion because he has just so much proficiency in doing this, and now we can officially go into this door.
Still alive.
Once you get inside, you'll see that you're in the guild hall. This is where all the thieves hang out, and Mol is one of the thieves. So we'll go down the stairs. When you get to the circle, turn left, and then Mol will be at the end of the line of kids in front of you. So let's talk to her.
Never visited us herself.
Wow, look who it is. Glad to see you in the city. Hope you found plenty of coin in Ketheric's coffers. Ready to do some business?
Is this a guild business you're running here?
Sure is. We work for Fetcher, handling what you might call pre-owned goods. Talk to Sticky. He'll cut you a deal.
So we have confirmation that the tieflings are okay in the refugee camp. Mol is right here, alive and well, and Roland does exist inside Baldur's Gate, but we can basically just ignore him. We don't need to do anything with him. We're fast traveling back to the Basilisk Gate. That's the closest place for the next thing we want to do. But first, we're going to go ahead and level up because we recently hit level 10. So our level 10 monk, of course, gets more health and additional key point, as well as improved unarmored movement. Our movement speed increases by 6 meters while we're not wearing armor or using a shield, and we get purity of body. We're immune to poison and can't be poisoned or affected by disease, thanks to our purifying ki flowing through our body. That poison immunity is really nice for us. Now moving on to Shadowheart, she is a level 10 cleric. She of course gets health, a level 5 spell slot, as well as Divine Intervention. You can cast Divine Intervention to invoke your god's aid. Once used, it can never be used again, and you get a new cantrip, so it doesn't really matter which one you choose. I'm going to choose Blade Ward. At this time, there's really no special spells that you need or anything like that, so choose whatever you want to, whatever you think that you'll need, and then let's keep going. Next up is Lae'zel. She is now a level 10 fighter. She gets some more health as well as a passive, so let's check that out. You get to choose a new fighting style and you just get bonuses based on what you pick. So what I'm going to do is just go for the defense one because I just want to have a little bit of an increased armor class while wearing armor, which of course we are always doing. And last up, we have Astarion, who is our level 10 rogue. He does get some more health as well as a new feat. That's pretty cool. I'm just going to stick with ability improvement and dump 2 points into dexterity because his weapons are dex based, and that will allow us to do some more damage with him, which is really nice. In addition to those level ups, I'm going to make a little adjustment to the armor that Lae'zel is wearing, just because we have some new things that we want. I'm going to put on the Haraknir bracers. It's better than the Fleet Fingers she was wearing, and I'm going to put on the Reaper's Embrace, which is a very rare heavy armor that reduces all incoming damage by 2. So that's pretty nice for us, and then we're going to move on from here, and we're going to help Astarion to become an Ascended Vampire, or the Vampire Ascendant. What we want to do is just to run down the pathway. We're going straight west, and we're going to keep going all the way down this road till we get to the end of it. Now, when you become a Vampire Ascendant, a few things happen. You get a lot more powerful with Astarion, but he also gets kind of an attitude problem that not many people like. It doesn't really have any impact on any trophies or anything like that. This is purely a way to make him stronger. So we're going to continue down this path past all of these Friends of Will that we slaughtered earlier. Remember, you could have kept them alive if you wanted to. And we're going to keep going west until we get down to this plaza where there's a big fountain. And when we get down here, we're going to go past the fountain and start climbing the stairs in the back. There's going to be the central watchtower through the doors just at the top of the stairs. We need to climb up that central watchtower to the top. That is going to take us to the top of the wall that goes around the Baldur's Gate area, and that will allow us to get into where Cazador Sar's manor, or where his mansion is. So now that we're on the top of the wall, we'll turn toward the right, and we're going to go over into the doors just ahead of us. Once you go in the doors, proceed forward until you see an iron ladder. You want to climb up the ladder, and you're going to get into a conversation with some of Cazador's guards. You can choose to either talk your way out of it or fight them, whatever one you want.
You are intruding in the palace of Cazador Zar. Leave now, citizen.
The guard's words are clear, but spoken without thought or intent. Behind her eyes, you see nothing. She must be one of the charmed thralls Astarion mentioned.
Intimidation. Another word from you and you'll fly out of this tower. We have a skill check looking for a 15, not very difficult considering all of the bonuses and the advantage that we have on our side. So let's roll this and keep going.
She pauses for a moment, but keeps her mouth shut. It seems you're free to enter.
There's some stairs nearby where we are. Let's go up those stairs and we'll be outside again. Now we just have to go through the large doors right next to us, and that will lead into the upper tower. From here, we're going to go up the stairs and now go through the big door at the top, and that will lead us into the Zar Palace ramparts. Now we just have to run forward, and over toward the left side there's going to be another door just ahead of us. So let's go through this door and into the Tsar Palace. Let's start by running straight ahead, and what you'll notice is that there's going to be a large red door. This door is magically sealed. We need to get two things in order to get through the sinister door. Number one, we're going to turn right and we're going to follow the red carpet. We're going to go down the stairs, and when you get to the bottom, you'll see that there's going to be a door that's emanating some weird stuff. You want to get close to that, but not too close. I would recommend that you use someone who can jump really well, such as Lae'zel, so that we can bypass some of the problems here. What you need to do is to separate her from the group, and then you want to open up the guest room door. What you'll see is that there's a corpse here with a necrotic aura. We need to get through this area quickly. You can jump over this if you really want to. And we're going to go to the left side and open up the mahogany wardrobe closest to the bed. Inside that is the Kozakurin dictionary. You want to read that, and that will allow you to decipher some of the weird runes and symbols on the door. Now to get past this again, we just need to jump over it and we can continue on, and we're going to regroup with our party and continue going along this red carpet straight ahead of us. And on the right side, you'll get a perception check, and you should be able to get through this door to the kennel. Inside, just to the right, there's going to be a character named Godi that we can see because we can see invisible things. So now let's talk to him.
I know you're there, Golly. Stop skulking and show yourself.
You always were sharp, little one. Sharp enough to cut yourself.
It's taking everything I have not to grind your rotten carcass to dust.
Don't be mad at Godi, child. I only did my job. Only kept you in line.
You tortured us. For days at a time.
Oh, yes. And you sang so sweetly for me. None of the others screamed like you did. But you're home now, and you brought me a treat, eh? A new friend for Godi.
Doesn't really matter what you choose here because you're going to end up with a fight anyway, so whether you want to do a deception or intimidation or just straight up attack him, doesn't really matter. You're going to fight him regardless.
Not very nice. Not very friendly. Why are you here then, little one, if not to see Godi?
Isn't it obvious? I'm going to kill Cazador.
How dare you? As if you could lay a finger on the master, you ungrateful little brat! Godi will not let you get away with blasphemy. Godi will see you punished.
Okay, now we're in a fight. It is 4 versus 1. This fight should not take you more than just one turn. We can do half of his health and damage with just one sneak attack melee from Astarion, and then we just have to do a couple follow-up attacks with our monk, and he's out. When you beat him, loot his corpse, and then go over to the right and find the Tsar family ring on him. You need to grab that because that will allow us, with the dictionary that we picked up already, to go into the door. Now we just have to follow that red carpet all the way back upstairs until we get to that big red door. When you go through the door, there will be a very large fight, so we want to do a little bit of preparation before then. Let's go over and control Shadowheart, and what we want to do is to use Spirit Guardians, use the strongest one you can, and activate it before you interact with the door. So as soon as you cast the spell, then you want to manually put on turn-based mode so that your turns of having the Spirit Guardians are not ticking down. Now let's use the Sinister Door.
Is covered in intricate text, but you can't see anywhere a key might fit. only a small round hollow engraved with a family crest. Looking closer, you recognize the writing. It's the same Kozakuran script from the dictionary you found.
Press the Tsar's signet ring against the hollow and read the door's inscription aloud.
The ring slots perfectly into place, and the door swings open.
Now, still using Shadowheart with those spirit guardians, run up to the middle of the room for a scene.
You can't be here. No one in, no one out.
You're new. Cazador never kept guard dogs before.
The runaway spawn. You reek of the Master's scent. Come with us. Come to Master.
Excuse me? I will not be ordered around my own house by some blow-in mutt.
We bring you to him. We get his favor.
And now we have a big fight. There are a ton of enemies here. Most of them, however, are very weak. There's a lot of bats and rats, and what you'll see is that they get a fairly early turn here, and we are perfectly positioned, just like when we got the Punch Drunk trophy earlier. All of those things are going to rush us, but they're going to rush the person closest to them, and in this case it's going to be Shadowheart, and she's perfectly protected with her spirit guardians. So let's turn it over to them and let them rush to their deaths. Just about all of those enemies were eliminated quickly and easily, and we got a ton of experience for it. Now we're just going to continue the fight by moving forward, taking out some of the other weaker enemies. You can use Astarion to attack from a distance and get some big hits on the wolves and the werewolves in this area, and then you just have to use your other melee characters to take them out as well. There is going to be one or two of the other vampire spawn that might see you and rush in, but they're pretty weak. You can take them out. Don't worry, you don't kill them just like before. They're going to disappear just before you kill them, so you don't have to worry about messing up the Ascension ritual or anything like that. So now that the fight's over, we're going to go over toward the northeast corner of the room. We can get through this door, and then we can go around to the back side. There's going to be a ladder up here. Let's climb the ladder up into a new area. Now that we're up here, we're going to go and push the button on the wall. That's going to drop the wall next to us, and then we can go straight ahead and into the door. That will take us into a long hallway. Let's turn to the right and then run down to the end of the hallway. There's going to be another door on the right side that we can go through. When you go through this door, you're going to go over on the left and look around for a button on the wall that will open up a new room, allowing you to go in and get the treasure crates in this area. It doesn't have a lot of good stuff, only a bunch of money and valuables. And now that we're in this room, you also want to grab the key to Cazador's dungeon. Unfortunately, we're locked in here, but if you go behind this jade urn, you can push the button and that will open up the door behind you. For some reason, it had to be pushed twice in my playthrough, so you might have to push it more than once. Well, now we have everything that we need up here. We're going to go back the way that we came, and then we'll be able to go down to that main floor again where we fought all of those monsters. So we're going back into this room. We can use the hatch to drop back down into the room below. We are going to go back out into the main room, so this time we're going to head toward the southwest, and we're going to go to the opposite corner of this one. We just run straight across this battlefield, and that will take us into a new hallway as soon as we get through the office hall door. When you get inside, immediately turn to the right and run over here. This is the dais. You just have to use it to drop down.
Stand on a clean metal platform. A beautiful but antiquated elevator. There are some scuffs to show its age, signs of things dragged onto it over the years, but it seems to be in good working order.
What in the hells? I never knew this was here. This was always Cazador's private quarters. Only he ever came in here. Well, him and the unfortunate souls we brought to feed him.
Descend into the depths of the palace. We're now inside Cazador's dungeon. Let's just run straight ahead. You'll see a big glowing wall in front of you. All we have to do is interact with it and use the signet ring to get through.
Just like the door to the ballroom upstairs, this door features no keyhole, but does have an indentation for a signet ring.
Press the Tsar signet ring into the hollow in the door.
The ring slots perfectly into place, and the door opens, assailing you with pungent, musty air.
Now just run straight ahead until you get a scene.
Approaching the cells, you're met with hollow-eyed faces. There's an almost physical stink of decay and neglect.
Is this how you used to live, Astarion?
Hardly. Cazador didn't keep me in luxury, but I've never seen anything like this. How did they get here? What is Cazador doing with them? I should have guessed there was more to it than Raphael would ever have told.
You. I know you. You're the one from the tavern. You smiled and joked and got me drunk.
No. You're dead.
You called me so many sweet things. My name sounded like a lyric on your tongue.
Sebastian.
You remember me.
You were handsome. Shy. You'd never been kissed.
You taught me how. And then you destroyed me.
It can't be.
Beneath the dirt and blood, you notice that every prisoner has a rune carved into their flesh.
Look at the symbols. They all have scars.
So Cazador marked them too. Bound us all to his ritual. Gods. I know so many of these faces. They're my conquests. I pursued them, seduced them, and brought them to Cazador. He told us he was feeding on them, but he turned them to spawn. He turned every last one, so we'd have souls for this cursed ritual.
How long?
What?
How long have I been down here?
Let Astarion answer.
170 years. You were one of my first.
My family. My friends. They're gone. You took them from me. You took everything from me.
Stop whining. The only thing that matters is killing Cazador. He's responsible for all of this. We get a skill check looking for a 15. Let's roll this and get it.
Kill him. That monster. You can't. It's not possible.
We'll find a way.
And then? What happens to us?
That depends on you. Can you control your hunger?
I don't know.
Trust me when I say I know the feeling, but you can resist the urge.
Whatever you do, just do it quickly. I can't go on waiting.
We'll be back. You have my word.
After that scene, Astarion wants to talk to us, so let's have a chat with him.
Gods above. He kept Sebastian. I should have known what Cazador was capable of. He's played us for such fools. And not just 7 spawn to placate the devil. 7 spawn and 7,000 souls bound to them in blood. Everyone, whoever trusted me enough to let down their guard, innocents, idiots, and the unlucky. It doesn't matter. I will need to sacrifice them all if I want to perform the ritual.
Don't think about them. Focus on yourself.
Thank you. Yes. This will all be over soon. It's just sickening. Seeing them again. I don't know what else.
Okay, let's keep running down the hallway, and we're going to get to another door just in front of us. This is the crypt gate door. We'll open that up and then go forward. I would definitely recommend that you save the game right around here, because when you get down to the bottom, you will have a fight with Cazador and a whole bunch of his minions. There are 2 ways to start the fight. You can either go down and just talk to him, and that's not the best way to go about it, but I will show that because you get some of the dialogue and it's a little bit more of the story. But the best thing to do is just to sneak attack him, and then we can begin the fight without going through a lot of dialogue and stuff. And also we have an easier time in combat if we just sneak attack him. So now I'm going to get his attention so that we can do the cutscene, and then I'll back it up and I'll show you the sneak attack version.
Who stands before us? Is this truly our prodigal son? Do not slouch before me, boy. Have you no respect for yourself? Look at you, crawling back after abandoning your family. You should be begging our forgiveness.
Keep back. Do not intervene.
Forgiveness? You've never forgiven anything. Every mistake, every slip was punished.
I strove for perfection in all things, even those as imperfect as you. A pity you amounted to so little, despite my efforts.
No! No. Fuck you. And fuck everything you've ever done to me!
We're here for justice. You're going to pay.
I will not speak to cattle. This is between me and the boy.
You son of a bitch.
You truly forgot my power. You truly thought our bond as creator and creation was all that stopped you from killing me? Oh, you are weak, my child. You are a small, pathetic little boy who never amounted to anything. But today, you will finally do something worthwhile. You will burn, and I will ascend.
No! Stop him! Get me out of this!
Witness the birth of the Vampire Ascendant! Ecce Dominus!
Well, as you can see, now we only have 3 party members because Astarion is tied up in the back and he isn't going to help us for this. So instead, we're going to back it up until before that cutscene, and we're going to do the sneak attack version. I'm just going to use Shadowheart. We can run down here. I still have the Blood of Lathander equipped, so I can use that Sunbeam ability. And we're just going to get as close as we can, making sure that we have appropriate spell slots. And we can then move forward as we sneak closer, and then we're going to use Sunbeam to do a lot of damage to him. Now, another fun thing that you can do is if you have the Daylight spell, you can use that. He has hypersensitivity to daylight, so you can actually do continuous damage to him every turn by using that spell. So now we're beginning the fight like this, and we got a surprise on all the other enemies around here, so we basically get a free turn. He's going to go into his little misty escape form. He's just a ball of gas, but we can still attack him like this. We're just going to move a lot closer using Lae'zel, and then we're going to just start fighting with the melee attacks, hitting him with Lae'zel, and then we'll bring up the monk and finish off Cazador.
Sometimes the only way out is through. Try me.
Okay, here goes the last attack. Cazador is defeated. He retreats back into his little sarcophagus here. If you open it up, you can't really interact with it yet. We'll open that later, but you can get the high security vault number 3 key. That is for the vault underneath the counting house. If you want to go there, you can get a little reward for that. It's not very important though. It's just a little fun thing that you can grab from that. So all these enemies are surprised, they can't do a whole lot. We're going to move Shadowheart up toward the middle, and you've seen this trick before. It's where we use Spirit Guardians and allow all the enemies to rush toward us. Unfortunately, I already used my action by using that Sunbeam ability, so I can't use it right now. But because all those enemies were surprised, we're still able to get ourselves into a good position the next time her turn comes around. I'm just going to move the monk and Lae'zel back just a little bit so that they're not the closest ones to the enemy. We really want that to be Shadowheart. Now all of these little bats and things are going to fly right up toward us, and they're going to encircle us, which is perfect for us because the next time that we get Shadowheart's turn, we're just going to use the Spirit Guardians and we're going to get rid of all of those bats in just one attack. Most of the other things around here, especially the Fallen Gur Hunters, they are going to rush into melee range and use Stench that will create a ghastly fume that will cause anyone nearby to become nauseous. Not a big deal for us, we're still able to take them out pretty well. There's also this Predator Werewolf who will come in and try to do some attacks as well. So watch out for those guys as they rush in. And there is going to be one spellcaster as well on the enemy team that's hiding out behind where the sarcophagus is. Well, let's start by using some Spirit Guardians. We're going to use the strongest one that we can, and that should wipe out all those bats nearby us, and we're going to get some really good damage off on these Predator Werewolves as well. We're doing like 25 damage just by having those things rush by us. So whenever they get inside our radius of the Spirit Guardians, we're doing damage to them. It's a really potent spell and ability for us to have. So this guy's going to now rush in and get a little bit closer, and the AI in this game is actually really quite smart. They will oftentimes hang out just outside of that Spirit Guardian aura to avoid taking damage, but that one decided to get a little bit closer to me, so he did take some damage. Now we're just going to go over to the monk and start taking out these enemies. They're pretty low on health because they've all run through that Spirit Guardian aura, so they don't have a lot of health left. Let's just start to work our way through these enemies and then use the other melee attacks from Lae'zel, and we can also have Astarion attack with this one because we did not have the cutscene where he got ensnared in the back, so we do have Astarion working for us in this version using the sneak attack. So let's keep on going. One thing that I would recommend is trying to keep your distance a little bit if possible. So I'm just going to have him retreat a little bit toward those stairs, and the things down here, because it's kind of darkness, we're able to hide pretty easily. They can't see very far, so using cunning action hide will allow us to get those good sneak attack ranged attacks off on these guys and do lots of damage. All the other little guys that are being held in the corners, they don't do anything for this fight, so you don't have to worry about them. But there are going to be occasional spawns of all kinds of bats that run toward us, or I guess fly toward us, and they are very weak. They don't give us a lot of experience or anything like that. They're just going to come right into the Spirit Guardian aura range, and they're going to kill themselves. So we're just going to keep Shadowheart parked kind of in the middle, fighting off things as necessary, and if we want to, we can either attack with the Blood of Lathander, or we can try to cast some magic and do some extra damage toward the things around here. So that's really all there is to this fight. It's pretty easy, all things considered, especially if you get a first round killing Cazador. He can be kind of a pain if you let him live for too long, so the name of the game is to take out Cazador first, then let Spirit Guardians do a lot of the heavy lifting for you in this fight. So now I'm just going to skip ahead to the end of the fight, and we'll continue on from here. After the fight, we're going to go back to the sarcophagus where Cazador is, and we're going to interact with it in order to drag him back out and continue the scene.
No healing sleep for you. Wake up!
Get your hands off me, worm!
I'm not the one in the dirt. One last thrust, and I'll be free of you. I'll never have to fear you again. But if I finish the ritual you started, I'll never have to fear anyone. Ever.
You think me a fool? That I would allow anyone to usurp me, speak the words, and ascend in my place? The runes I carved into your flesh bind you and all 7,000 souls to the ritual. Complete it, and those bearing the scars will be sacrificed, you included. You are simply a means to an end. I made you to be consumed.
I am so much more than what you made me. I can do this, but I need your help.
All right, what do you need?
I need your eyes, in a manner of speaking.
What do you think you are doing?
Unmaking what you made me. Use the parasite. Link your mind to mine. Through your eyes, I can see the scars on my back, and copy them onto his.
You would not dare!
I would. And I will. You will be consumed, and all the power you've lusted after will be mine.
At the cost of a lot of lives. It's not worth it, Astarion.
Help me do this. Please.
Enter Astarion's mind so he can proceed with the ritual.
Your minds join and your two selves become one. You can feel the knife in your hand, see the scars on his back, and taste his hunger for power.
Yes. Yes. I see it.
What are you doing? Don't! Ah!
Oh, no! 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 There. Perfect.
Ungrateful child. Wretched child.
Time to take your place. Dominus, has animas, offero in sacrificio.
Let the ritual continue.
Nunc volo potestantem quam policitus es mihi. That ache in my stomach, that hunger, it's gone. I'm free. I'm finally free. Oh, it feels delicious.
You did it! I can't believe you did it.
I did. We did. Come on, let's get out of here. I have a brand new world to explore.
And with that, Astarion has now ascended, and he wants to talk to us, so let's talk to him.
This is it. The hopeless dream dreamt by all of my kind. I am the greatest vampire to ever walk this land. Even the pale knight would have knelt before me.
Has your body changed?
Everything has changed. I felt so very little for so long. My edges dulled over the numb years rotting in the boudoir and kennels. Now, I can hear it at last. See it at last. How all the lowly creatures of this plane are begging to serve. How to call upon them. Scurrying footpads in their safe houses. Rats below our feet in their filthy holes. The crows in the night above. They will obey. The world will stir in fear.
Yes, embrace it. Show Faerun your power.
I already hear the world whispering in sweet surrender. And I feel alive.
Upon beating Cazador, we also got an item called Woe. Let's check it out. It is a new weapon. It does 6 to 13 damage, and it comes with Arcane Enchantment. You gain a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls, and Arcane Vampirism. When the creatures affected by your spells fail any associated saving throws, you regain 1 to 4 hit points, and it also has a few other abilities to go along with it. And with that, we're going to wrap up part 27 of this walkthrough. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please do me a favor, hit that like button, and also comment down below letting me know what you think of this series. And also feel free to share this video with a friend if they're looking at trying to go after the trophies and achievements as well. I'll see you very soon for part 28. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.